we need to talk about justice. All of us are concerned with justice. From early childhood, we concern ourselves with justice. Fairness. Tommy got more than I did, whatever it is. Children, from their earliest memories, know justice, and they know injustice. So all of us, all of us are concerned with justice. It's part of being human. It's at the core of our humanity, the need for justice. So each of us, as we go about our daily lives, we occasionally see injustice, and the reaction is, I think, pretty much universal. We see injustice, we disapprove, we don't like it, we say that's wrong, and most of us, many of us, move on. We've expressed our displeasure and we move on. The reaction is universal. But for some of us, we go a step farther. We decide to be active. We say, that's wrong, and I'm going to change it. I'm going to do something about it. It happens throughout society at all levels. We're concerned about justice and injustice at the government level, in our courts, in our laws, in the enforcement of our laws, throughout society, and all the way down to the individual interactions, day-to-day things. We see someone unfairly berating a homeless person who's just hungry, or whatever it might be. Some of us get involved. We say, that's wrong, you can't do that, and you have to stop. Or we'll tell the homeless person, come with me, don't pay any attention to that person. So we get involved, we do something. Sorry, I don't want to get emotional, but I can't help it. I like to think that getting involved is like putting on a red cape. Sorry, when Clark Kent changes uniforms, puts on that red cape, he takes on powers that some of us could only dream of. Wearing that red cape gives you powers that you can't imagine. You can do anything when you wear that red cape. So why talk about that right now? I think we want at this time to honor the memory of Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. and his followers. He and they changed the trajectory of America. They put us back on the right track. The founders created a system of government that the world had not seen before. For the very first time in all of human history, there were specific rights guaranteed to every individual simply because they're human. That had never been done before, and it was earth-shaking, monumental. It was genius, the structure that they built to maintain that philosophy. The founders were students of history. They were students of government philosophy and students of human nature. They knew what had worked in the past and failed in the past, what could work and what probably couldn't, and the dangers of allowing a structure that enabled individuals to have, to have too much power. So they built a system that is just and flexible enough to continue to be just and to correct itself when it's not just. And it has worked for many years since then. Some people have said that it was inspired by God. I would like to think so. And in my imagination, I can envision God saying, when it was all done and the documents were signed and the ink was dried, I can see God holding our founders in his hands and saying, well done, well done. But I can also see him in my imagination saying, you've made the world a better place, but be careful in how you implement the principles that you've laid out in those documents. You have to implement them correctly, 100%. So, some 170, 180 years or so later, Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. and his followers, witnessing the implementation of those principles being unjust, not uniform, not applying equally to everyone, that Lady Justice with the blindfold seems to be peaking at times. The blindfold comes off. It was wrong. He knew it was wrong, but he also knew that the system was a good system. He believed in it, as I do, and most of us do. Rather than blow it up, he worked with it. He almost single-handedly gathered together the forces to make change within the system. The system was designed to be self-correcting, to be changeable. And he worked with it, and he made the changes. I think the founders put us on a track with the distant objective of that would benefit all of humanity. Dr. King noticed that we were off that track a little, and he body checked this system to jolt it back on track. And for that, we all owe him a huge debt of gratitude. He made this great country live up to its ideals. And so once again, in my imagination, I want to envision God holding him and his followers in his hands, and again saying, well done. Good job. So I'm just one person, one individual who feels so strongly about the promise of this great nation and of the founding documents that make this nation great. And I want to personally say Dr. King and his memory and all of his followers. Thank you. Thank you for making this country great. And thank you for wearing the red cape.